Right, so continuing our work with rational numbers. This time the focus is on fractions, and just want to look at some different operations involving fractions with negatives. That's the main difference between what we were reviewing a few lessons ago. And I have just 4 examples here, so let's look at this one right here. So negative 5/12 minus 5/6. Again, doesn't matter if the numbers are positive or negative. If I want to add or subtract fractions together, I want to find that common denominator. Ideally the lowest common denominator, and the lowest common denominator of 12 and 6 is 12, sorry. So I just need to double 6 to make 12, double the numerator to get 10, and now I'm pretty much set up. So I have my, let's shrink that a bit, I have my common denominator of 12. Sorry. There we go. That took a little too long. And then my numerator, keep in mind I have negative 5 take away 10. Negative 5 take away 10 is negative 15. And this is a totally fine answer in terms of, I mean, it's correct, but it's not in simplest form. And so there's a few things I can do to make this a bit better. First, I can realize if I want, I can right away divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3. So I get negative 5 over 4. And that's better. That's my best answer as an improper fraction, but it's good to make it as a mixed number. And so 4 goes into 5 one whole time. So there's 1/4 left, but the whole thing's negative. So again, negative 1 1/4 is the easiest, I think, to visualize at this point. All right, let's look over here. Again, I have a negative 3/4 minus negative 1/2. And you know, the first thing I would do is realize subtracting a negative is the same as adding. So I'd really think of this as negative 3/4 plus 1/2. All right, and now get my common denominator. The lowest common denominator, 4 and 2, is just 4. So change that to a 4 by doubling it and double the numerator. And now focus on, you know, what I have in the numerator. I have negative 3 plus 2. So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1 over 4. And that's already in lowest terms. That's great. And keep in mind, negative 1 over 4 is the same as negative 1/4. If one of these looks nicer to you, sure, write that down. But what matters is it's the same thing. Or they're equivalent. And so let's look at this example. 3.5 times negative 1/4. I know I'm multiplying because, again, there's no symbol there. So that has to be multiplication. And so first thing I want to do is take this 3.5 and write it as a improper fraction. 3 times 2 is 6. Add it to the top. You get 7/2 times negative 1/4. Now again, I want to make sure I don't confuse myself and think I'm subtracting here. So again, it's not wrong to put the brackets around here. But at this point, the negative isn't really a big deal. I know a positive number times a negative number is negative, so it's going to be negative something. And then I can just focus on the numerators. 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 4 is 8, so my answer is negative 7/8. All right, and last one. So I can see right off the bat I have a negative number divided by a negative number, so I know my answer is going to be a positive number, which I don't even have to put that plus sign there, so I'll just erase it. So once I know that, I can now just focus on the mechanics of going 9/10 divided by 4/5, which is going to be the equivalent to 9/10 times 5/4. Right? Dividing by any number, same as multiplying by the reciprocal. And again, I already know my answer is going to be positive, so I'm not dealing with those negatives anymore. And now at this point, I can multiply my numerator and my denominator right now. Or if I want, I realize I do have 5 over 10, which is the same as 1 over 2. And so if I want, I can rewrite this as 9 over 8. 9 times 1 over 2 times 4. And that, again, is a fine answer as an improper fraction, but I really should try to change it to a mixed number. And so 8 goes into 9 one time, and I'm left with 1/8 left. All right, so if I look at all 4 of these together, really nothing different from what I reviewed with fractions earlier on, except there's some negatives here. So we've got to keep in mind, you know, how that'll affect things.